Although globalization seems to be a present-day phenomenon, it actually began quite a long time ago, during the great geographical discoveries in the 15th and 16th centuries. The discovery of America, the coast of Africa, and the route around Africa to India are key events for the globalization. The first step was taken by brave sailors, followed by soldiers, missionaries, and people whom today we would call politicians and businessmen. Of course, although this phenomenon has been going on for centuries, nowadays it is happening at a much faster pace. But what does globalization even mean? In a nutshell, globalization is the increase in the interdependence and mutual influence of countries, companies, and people in the world. An important aspect of globalization is the economic aspect. Thanks to globalization, transnational corporations, which means large companies operating in at least two countries, could be established. An example of a typical international corporation, of course, McDonald's. McDonald's currently has almost 37,000 restaurants in 120 countries around the world. Transnational corporations have become an important part of the economic landscape and are an example of the possibilities of both internal and external cooperation. They play a significant role in the international arena. Transnational corporations, next to nation-states, non-governmental organizations, and international economic organizations, are the creators of the globalization process and its beneficiary. They actively participate in the functioning of the state's economy, culture, and social policy. Economists, however, are concerned about
unfavorable
influence of transnational corporations which, thanks to their strong economic position, can influence state policy based on their own interests. Here is the ranking from 2015 of the 20 largest transnational corporations in terms of foreign assets. Thanks to the globalization process, there can be free trade, fast travel, mass communication, and the rapid spread of information thanks to the internet. We as individuals can enjoy the availability of products from all over the world, and this process certainly pleases the largest players. But it also has negative aspects that we can notice ourselves looking at the changing world around us. Excessive growth of competition and instability of social relations, lack of fair trade, deepening differences in the standard of living in the world, exploitation of the poor by the rich are just some of the many negative aspects of this phenomenon. Not everyone has the same opportunity to participate in this process. At the end of the 20th century, the poorest 20% of the world's population had incomes more than 70 times lower than the richest 20% of the world. Of course, at the very end, we cannot forget about one more aspect of globalization, the possibility of instant communication between people almost all over the world. From phones to computers, 65% of the world's population is connected to the internet, and in Europe it's almost 98%. The average global consumption time of mobile internet continues to increase, standing at 3 hours and 14 minutes. WhatsApp, having over 1.2 billion active users per month, is one of the most popular MIM platforms. The existence of MIM platforms shows how important an aspect of today's world is fast communication. MIM means Mobile Instant Messaging. For example, it is documented how British emergency teams accessed WhatsApp groups to discuss clinical and administrative information. The participants found the use of MIM to be efficient and reported that it had flattened team hierarchies. Neurosurgical teams use WhatsApp as a tool to share patient-related information, including radiological images. This virtual information exchange was reported to decrease the time taken for morning handover and help remote team members to remain updated. I showed these perhaps little known details because we all know that communication is a key aspect of our world nowadays. Each of us uses the internet for various purposes for hours: entertainment, communication, learning, and much more. In the last sentences, however, I would like to mention the problems related to this state of the world. Excessive internet use will also have negative consequences for our brain. We can talk, for example, about the so-called digital autism, a phenomenon caused by spending many hours a day in front of screens, defined as a deterioration of mental state and cognitive functioning. Symptoms of digital autism include problems with concentration, inability to focus on work, speech and language delay among children, hyperactivity, irritability, less creativity, sleep disorders, FOMO. In addition, we face other threats such as cyberbullying, personal data theft, financial fraud, sexting. We are exposed to social engineering, fake news, and many more.